Okay. Hello, everyone. It is time. What you are looking at is my template for my top 50 games of all time list. Today, we are really going to be diving in and analyzing it. I love talking about games. This is something I do every year. I think this is my fifth year doing it, actually. My goal was to replay a few more games so that I could give a more confident opinion on some of the lower picks, but that's okay. Um, what you're looking at right now, this isn't a spoiler for the list because this is what I always do. Is This is backlog.com. You can see it up in the top in my bar, but um, this is my list from last year, and what I do every year is as I play games throughout the year, I just keep adding them so that I can maybe fill them in later, or I can maybe uh, end up dropping them off. Maybe they don't end up making the list, but I just want to make sure I don't forget any games that I play year after year. Um, and like you can tell, I kind of had a Kirby stint. I just kind of that was a period where I remembered that I really liked those games. I didn't play those like this year for the first time. I just remembered they exist. Same with Pokemon White down here. I just added them because I remembered they exist. Um, Okay, but we'll kick it off with number 50. The last two here are spoilers. There are a couple things I need to mention before I talk. First of all, um, collection. Well, really, it's the only first, the disclaimer that has nothing to do with the list. I'm eating ice cream right now, so there might be moments where I pause to swallow my ice cream. I don't have too much left, but I'm working through my DQ Sunday here. But the real disclaimer that some people might actually be pissed off about is I am including collections in the consideration for this. Um, just because my philosophy is if it goes on one disc, I can count it as one game. Now, I know that like it's multiple different games that I could very easily rank separately, but it just makes the list a lot less crowded if I can say, well, for example, this one's on the list. If I can say just put in the Ace Attorney trilogy because I love the Ace Attorney trilogy as a whole, rather than saying, okay, well, now I have to analyze how 3 and 1 fit in the list, 2 wouldn't make the list if I had to separate them. But I have to analyze how those would make the list and then probably push other games off and try to figure out how to make that work. Um, Whereas if I just put the collection, I don't have to worry about any of that. But let's get into the list, shall we? First, number 50, I was going to build this up. It's a game that I think is the perfect, like, barrier game. The perfect game to put at the bottom of the list. It makes the top 50, but it doesn't get any higher than that because this is a game that I will not ever replay because of the style of game that it is. It's the Ace Attorney trilogy. I love the Ace Attorney trilogy. It has a very special place in my heart. It's one of the first games like that I truly got to experience with my girlfriend rather than like making her play Xenoblade and watching her while I knew everything that was happening. I got to experience this game with her, and it was a truly magical experience. We also played the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles this year, which was also really good, but that one doesn't quite make the list just because I prefer the characters of the Ace Attorney trilogy, the original. I also just prefer a little bit the slightly less serious way the story is delivered in the Ace Attorney trilogy. Um, I also think the cases are a little bit more consistent in the original trilogy. The Great Ace Attorney has some great, spectacular cases and some spectacular storytelling. It has some really long ones as well. Like, some of the last cases in that duology are really long. Um, but the payoff of that game is really strong as well. However, like, the last case of Trials and Tribulations is one of my favorite experiences ever playing a video game. Like piecing all of it together, being like, is this really what's happening? Is this what they're alluding to? Is this what happened? And you like the game kind of pushes you in the correct direction a little before the game actually confirms it. So it makes you feel like the smartest person in the world when you're like, I knew that. Like I figured that out on my own, when it's like the game was kind of hinting towards it pretty heavily. But love the Ace Attorney trilogy. It has a special place in my heart. Unfortunately, it's one of those games you can only experience once. You can never experience it the same way again when you know how everything's going to go. Part of the joy of the game is not knowing, for one, what's going on and solving the crimes in real time. And for two, like, well, I guess that kind of puts it all together, really. There's no for two there. But man, what an amazing like trilogy of games. I highly recommend anyone play this. Like I want my mom to play this game because it's like it's an accessible game. It's got some tough puzzles, but it's not a gamer's game. It's just a great experience, and it's like an interactive book like a visual novel should be. But moving on from there, the other game that is actually already ranked because of my failed recording, Sonic Origins, will not be here anymore after this. Split Fiction. Split Fiction is a Hazelight Studios, I think is their name. It's one of their games. I haven't played A Way Out, but Hazelight Studios has become like known for their co-op adventures. That's like truly built around the co-op. That makes it a really special experience, especially if you have a partner. A lot of people like gaming is an experience that I share with my girlfriend, and it's like we enjoy playing video games together, and a lot of the time that ends up like we sacrifice a little bit of it because like playing a game like Expedition 33, we're trading off instead of playing and experiencing it at the same time, and both of the players have a very important role in Split Fiction, and it's a brilliant game. It's just pure fun. The reason it's not higher, I know a lot of people actually liked it more than It Takes Two, but spoiler alert, I don't like it quite as much as It Takes Two, just because I loved the fantasy levels. I thought they were so innovative and so fun to play, but the sci-fi levels started feeling a little bit samey to me, and I wasn't as big of a fan of those. It's definitely a game that's hard to get into if you don't have anyone to play with, though, because it is fully built around the co-op. I think you can, like, play online with maybe... I don't know if there's, like, a matchmaking thing, or, like, there's a way to play with someone random, I feel like. But it's just not the same experience. This is very much a couch co-op game that is really fun to play with someone that you're close to and really fun to experience. Just brilliant level design. The next game on the list, I'm going to hype these up before I move them around because now there's no spoilers. This is a 2D platformer that is not Sonic Origins. This is a game that I think is brilliant, and I think it might be the most impressive game of all time, based on when it was made and how well it holds up today. I think it's one of the best games of all time. It's actually getting moved down from where it was previously, and it's Mario 3, taking up slot number 48. I love Mario 3. There are some levels that I don't love. There are some aspects of the game that I don't like playing through. But I have so many memories of this game because I had it on the Game Boy, and my cousin had it on Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo, and we play it together. But I just remember him, like, I was really close to my cousin playing, like, Mario games with him, and he used to, it was really cute, he used to email me the walkthrough pages of Super Mario 64 DS so that I could beat the game, and we used to have email chains back and forth where he'd help me out with the game. I remember when he taught me all of the secrets for the first world in Mario 3. I don't know any of the other secrets in the game. Those are a mystery to me. But, like, getting the P-Wing, getting all the flutes, being able to warp all the way to World 8 and then beat the game. Like, I've only ever fully beaten every world in Mario 3 one time ever, and it was pretty recently, actually. But it's such a special game because it's so impressive how, like, I think most Nintendo franchises had their defining game in the Super Nintendo era, where Mario 3 was the defining game for it, and it was an NES game. It defined the world structure that is used in 2D platformers to this day, and it fully defined the genre. Like, it Mario 3 is what 2D platformers still are today. And it's crazy how well it works as a game. I think it is so impressive that such a good game existed so early on. Moving on, this is a hot take. And especially when I say what game comes after it, I only just realized this, but it's going to make me even more people mad after that. This is a game that everybody loves. I love the remake of it a lot more. I don't think this game has aged the best, and maybe I need to play it again. I didn't get to grow up with this game like a lot of people did. I played this game for the first time my first year of teaching. And maybe that's why, because my first year of teaching was not when I was in my best headspace, for sure. Full disclosure. Um, Maybe that has something to do with my enjoyment level of this game, where it almost felt a little bit like a grind, like a chore. But this is Final Fantasy VII, moving down a few slots from last year. I do like the original Final Fantasy VII. It was a defining RPG in the same way that Ocarina of Time defined Zelda games for the future, in the same way that um, Mario 64 defined 3D platformers for the future. It's a genre-defining game with, honestly, a pretty woke plot by today's standards. Like, if you're going to talk about wokeness in games, it's like, this is about, like, saving the environment, especially in the beginning when you're bombing an entire reactor because, well, you, Cloud, are bombing the reactor because you're a mercenary and you were hired to do so, but, like, Avalanche, that whole plot, trying to, like, do what's good for the planet, there's a lot of that present throughout the game. And maybe I need to replay it. Maybe on a replay, the themes will hit a little bit harder, especially now that I've played through both Remake and Rebirth. Maybe I'll appreciate it a little bit more, but I don't know. It just doesn't hit quite as much. And now for the controversy, the game that comes after Final Fantasy VII. It's a game that I loved that came out this year. Um, this one had mixed reviews. Not necessarily mixed reviews, but a mixed opinion online. Um, Not everybody loved this game. I had a lot of fun playing through it. I had a lot of fun with the battling in it. This is Pokemon Legends ZA. I thought the pacing of this game was brilliant, other than the beginning. The beginning is too slow, full stop. This is a game that I would almost never see myself replaying from the beginning because the first, like, 2 to 3 hours is so slow. But as soon as you get through that point in the game, it feels like I'm playing through anime arcs. Like, I loved how each rank in the Battle Royale or whatever it was called was an arc in an anime. Like how you are doing the stuff with the Rust Syndicate, for example. You're doing the stuff with, I think it's the Fists of Justice. Call me out on not remembering a game that I played like a month ago. But, like, each of those felt like an arc in the anime, and I felt like the battle system was really smooth and fun. It was a nice breath of fresh air that I wouldn't want to come to the regular series, but it's like, for a game that's trying to experiment, it works really well, and I really, really enjoyed playing through playing through Pokemon Legends ZA. I enjoy, like, this is the first time I've enjoyed a main story of a Pokemon game in a long time. Like, I usually am just like mashing through text, half reading it, waiting for the post game. But I really enjoyed Legends ZA, and I think I'll continue playing it with the DLC. I still haven't bought the DLC, but I think it'll still hold up for me in terms of how much I like it. Now, the next game I have a really special experience with. This is a game that I think if I played it by myself, it would not near have come this far on my list. The Nintendo Switch Online. Well, first of all, like a little backstory on me. My girlfriend and I are a year apart, so when I graduated college and I moved away, we had to be long distance for about a year before she moved in with me. And during that year, we were kind of desperate for like things we could do together over the phone. And I was like, hey, I guess there's this Kirby game that's multiplayer. And, I mean, it's something we can try. This Game Boy Advance Kirby game. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, playing that online over the phone was such a special experience for me. I think it's partially the social aspect of it alone that I just have great memories with it. The memories hold up a little bit more than the game. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we ever beat it. I think we got stuck on the final boss and we still have yet to beat the game. So technically I haven't beaten this game yet. I haven't been able to beat the final boss. But what's so fun about Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is it works like a Metroidvania, where you have to unlock all of the different abilities, and when you unlock the different abilities, it allows you to take different routes around the huge maze that is the open world of the game. And there's no other Kirby game like it, and it's crazy to me because it was really fun. Like, it was almost like the most fun that I've ever had playing a Kirby game, and I like Kirby games. But yeah, it's a fun game, and I highly recommend, like, if you, like, not necessarily even if you have a significant other, but if you have a friend and you have Nintendo Switch Online, give this game a whirl. Like, try it out in the Nintendo Switch Online because it, like, makes it so fun. Like, playing this on the Nintendo Switch Online, so fun. I have to shift positions with my laptop, so I'm going to be rustling all around a little bit here. Game number, what are we on here? Hold on. Where'd my phone go? My list is on my phone. Game number 44 is a game that I loved the first time I played it, and then its sequels kind of ruined it for me almost. Not ruined it, because I still think it's a near perfect game. Its sequels are just so much better that, I don't know, it's hard. It makes it difficult. But this game is getting brought down a little bit, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's getting brought down a little bit. It's a 2D platformer. I'm looking right at it. It's on my screen right now. And it is Donkey Kong Country 1. Donkey Kong Country 1, I feel like when I talk about it, I more have to justify why it's this low rather than, like, talk about what I like about it. I love Donkey Kong Country 1. However, they improved so much in the other games that it's like, I would rather go back to 1 or 2 or 3 than play 1 again. And I just, something about, like, the bonus games in 1 don't make me want to 100% it. I just want to get through it. Whenever I play 2 and 3, and we'll get to that, I am 100%ing them every time, playing all the bonus games, getting all the collectibles and all that stuff. Whereas Donkey Kong Country, it's just the way that it's structured, I couldn't care less about 100%ing it. I also just think the levels are a little bit like repetitive. Like Donkey Kong Country 1, you kind of go through the same two biomes. You're either in the forest or you're in a cave. There's some variants. There's like the ruins levels that appear occasionally. There's the mine levels, which are kind of a variant of the caves, anyways. And there's the ice levels, which are kind of a variant of the forest. It's just there's ice physics and there's snow all over the place. There's not a ton of variety when you're playing Donkey Kong Country 1, but it is still a damn fun game to play. It is great, and I highly recommend, like, if you're gonna play 2D platformers, play Donkey Kong Country 1. And it's a fun game to play multiplayer too. Like, I talk about experiences playing online with my girlfriend. We played Donkey Kong Country, and it's kind of funny because it's like there's so many memories, like playing the entire trilogy. It's like I die. The way it works is you don't play at the same time. One person dies and then the other takes over, and I'd be like, okay, the barrel to bring me back is right there. All you have to do is dodge these two enemies, and before I can even get it out, she's dead. And it's like, it's just like memories like that. It's like, and then we'd be like dying laughing together. It's just like making memories playing games. That's what it's all about. Um, 43. I mentioned this game earlier. This game is incredibly innovative in its design. An incredible game, a beautiful game, a game with a really gripping story as well, but one that doesn't take itself too seriously. Again, I'm looking at it right now. It Takes Two, a brilliant co op game that I absolutely love if I can get it in the right spot. A brilliant co op game that I absolutely love. Every level just felt like pure joy when I was playing this game. Like, I wanted to explore every little bit of it. I was like just giddy when I was playing this game, especially like it just made me feel like a kid enjoying a game. And it's rare to have a game that makes me feel like that, and I really enjoyed it. The only reason that it's this low is it's like you play it, you see what it has to offer, you probably don't play it again. Like, I platinumed it. It's a very easy platinum, but I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's a very easy platinum. Saw everything the game has to offer, and it's like, okay, I don't know if we're gonna play that one again. It also, similarly to Split Fiction, requires co-op, and it's like you've got to couch co-op this game. It's so much better couch co-oping this game. But it does such a good job with the co-op where it's like each level is like a bit of a puzzle. It's basically a puzzle platformer, where both of you have roles that complement each other, where you need to work together to get through different areas, and you have to solve the puzzles together. It's a brilliant game. I loved playing through it with my girlfriend. It was so fun. The next one is one that I believe has come down quite a bit. I enjoy all of the games in this collection. It is a trilogy. The first one, bit of a rocky start. The other two, very fun to play. Just like pure fun. It's like you're playing an action movie. This is the Uncharted trilogy. Oops. The Uncharted trilogy. Like I said, the first game, there's some really annoying parts of it where it's like you duck behind cover, then you shoot the guys, then you duck behind cover, then you shoot the guys. And it's like every arena felt the same. It just felt tedious. I would get like frustrated and try to go guns blazing through it, and then it would never work, and then I'd just get frustrated again. And it's like the story isn't exactly gripping in the first one, especially the first like half when you are just Nathan Drake. Like, is a character that works really well with the banter that he has with the other characters, and when you're alone, it's boring. Um, 2, everybody loves Uncharted 2. Um, what a step in the right direction there. It's got a great narrative that legitimately is like a movie style plot. It feels like you are playing a movie with some really great action set pieces. But I will always argue, I think the most fun that I have playing an Uncharted game, this goes for 4 as well, is the third game. I think the third game is the most fun game, even if the plot is complete garbage. Like, the story of 3 is laughable, how many plot holes there are, and it's like crazy how many unsolved mysteries there were in Uncharted 3, but it's such a fun game to play. It's just stupid fun. Number 41, I think once we get to number 40, like after this one, I'm going to bump down some that are not on the list just to get them out of the way so that we can kind of know what we're looking at here, because Sonic Origins is distracting me. Um, Number 41, this is a Zelda game. It's the first Zelda game on the list. The first Zelda game that I ever 100%ed. I don't like the original version of this one, which is a huge hot take. Like, people love, like, this is the original version of this one is so many people's favorite Zelda game, so many people's favorite game of all time, and I just don't get it because I don't like it that much. Majora's Mask. What I loved about Majora's Mask was I did not need a walkthrough or a guide to 100% it. I was able to follow everything in the Bomber's Notebook, and it kind of helped me lay out all of my objectives for side quests in a really neat manner, and I was able to 100% it myself with no guide, and I really enjoyed that. I don't like the dungeons in this game very much. I think some people overhype a couple of them. I think Woodfall is actually underrated. I love the Woodfall Temple. I don't like um I don't like Snowhead. I think Great Bay is okay. And hot take, I really don't like Stone Tower Temple. I think it is a cool concept, but it's one that I think just sucks to play, and I don't enjoy it. Granted, I have not gotten the chance to replay Majora's Mask in a long time. It's just one that I know needs to be here because, again, it was my first one Zelda game that I 100%ed. I did get really invested in it for a while when I would play it on my 3DS. Um, I need to replay it because the Akana Canyon part of the game, that part to the end, I have only ever played one time when the 3DS version first came out. So I don't have a very, like, firm memory of the ending of that game. Um, I can see why people like it because it's not a traditional Zelda game. It's like there's like no story present here whatsoever. It's not very linear in how it tells its story. You kind of learn about the world through the side quests, and it's kind of about how much you invest in the structure of the world and all of the characters and how, like, it's a tragic game because they're all facing their impending doom. Everyone is going to die in 4 days' time. Um, but with that, let me move a couple games out of the way because, sorry, Sonic Origins, you do not make the list this year. Um, A Link to the Past actually does not make the list this year. Bowser's Inside Story does not make the list this year. WarioWare Smooth Moves does not make the list this year. Can you let go of it, please? I let go of the mouse. Uh-oh. WarioWare Smooth Moves is broken. It broke the list. What is going on? What is going on with WarioWare Smooth? I think I need to, like, get out of here. It like WarioWare Smooth Moves is like perpetually here. It it will not go away. Okay, WarioWare Smooth Moves. Move it away. Link Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds is one that I want to have on there, but that one I have not replayed, period, since it first came out, and that was so long ago, I couldn't justify keeping it on the list. Those are the only ones I'll remove for now. Now back to our regularly scheduled list. Okay. Next is another kind, like, Majora's Mask is a pretty scary game. Now we're going into a more scary game. This was my first time playing through and beating a horror game. And, like, playing through it with my girlfriend, she was there to kind of be there as my source of comfort when I'd be like, I don't know what's going to be around this corner, like, subtly, like, not wanting to show that I'm that scared. And then her being like, just go, like, just walk, it's a game. But, I platinumed this one, and I like got really invested into the story behind this game and the like themes that are present throughout it, and really just enjoying the vibe of it. And this is Silent Hill 2 the remake. Um like I said, I got really invested in the lore of this game. Um and like going through such a creepy atmosphere. It's an atmospheric game, and the sound design is brilliant. It made the game feel approachable as someone who doesn't generally get through horror games very well, where it's like I had the radio on the whole time so I could tell when an enemy was nearby, and yeah, it made it creepy because the radio sound, like, I can hear it in my head right now and it freaks me out. But it's like I never felt like I don't want to say I never felt scared, but I never felt like I was going to get jump scared, I guess. Like, my biggest worry with games is I hate jump scares. I think they're so cheap. Um, I'm not a huge fan of jump scares at all. But this one was creepy the whole time without there being a jump scare. And you could always kind of tell when something was coming because of the radio chirping at you. Um, is maybe a bit of a bold choice, but when I realized there was a melee only trophy, my first playthrough of the game was with the crowbar, and it made it a bit of a pain at times because some of those bosses are really hard with the crowbar, but I really liked my second playthrough of the game when I was just flying through everything. And it's like the hospital in particular took me forever the first time I played, like getting through it and figuring out all the puzzles, and just I was dying a lot as well the first time through the game. I kind of forgot about that, but there was spots where I would die like 10 times in a row, and I was like, I might just need to give up on this stupid melee only trophy, but I persisted and made it through. And then I went through again, and just like being able to go through with the gun first of all made everything feel so much easier. Um, and then as well, just like being able to get through the rooms and knowing the structure of the game, like, it was, I really enjoyed like exploring everywhere in this one. It made it feel a lot less scary after I kind of knew where everything was, but I got kind of both experiences on it. Next is a much brighter game, a game that I really need to play again, but it's like it's a game where there's not really much of a point in starting it right now. That's the hint for you. There's not much of a point in starting it right now because there is a new version of this game, like, not a new version of this game, but a new sequel that um I don't like as much, but it kind of replaces it. This is Animal Crossing New Leaf. Animal Crossing New Leaf is the best Animal Crossing game, hands down. Screw you, New Horizons. Something about the vibes of New Leaf, it was like perfect. I don't know if it's because I played it when I was like the right age for it and now I'm just too old to enjoy Animal Crossing, but it just, I love the vibes of New Leaf. I loved like doing all the holidays in New Leaf, and the island tour stuff. I really enjoyed doing that, and I remember like staying up really late at night, like till 2 to 3 in the morning, collecting golden stag beetles to sell for profit and pay off my house loan. Um, I just have really fond memories of playing New Leaf, and it is hands down my favorite Animal Crossing game. I would go for like collecting every item in the catalog in this game. I would get like really invested every time I'd start it. I really need to make a new town on New Leaf and get into it again just to relive how much I love it. Like I can't even put my finger on why I like it so much more than New Horizons. Again, I think it's just vibes because it's like the island isn't that much better than doing like all the different islands that you can fly to in New Horizons. It's purely just vibes. Like I couldn't tell you what's better about New Leaf. The villagers do have a bit more personality in it from what I remember, but again, I need to play it again so that I can see. Okay, what is next here? Oh, this is a hot take. This is um, an RPG that has really strange mechanics. It has an anti-grinding system that is so bizarre that it's never been done in a different game. Well, I don't want to say never because I haven't played that many JRPGs in all reality, but this game, well, first of all, let's move it. Final Fantasy VIII. Yes, I do like it that much more than 7. Um, the plot after I can't remember if it's like Act 2 or Act 3 sucks so bad. Well, it's mostly just like Squall's interactions with Renoa feel like borderline out of character all of a sudden, where he's like so deeply obsessed with her. It just like there's no smooth transition into that period. It's so strange to me. And there's some cringe moments with their love story, but the gameplay of this game, I think it's so funny that by playing cards with people, you can get cards that you can deconstruct for overpowered magic, junction that magic onto an ability, and make yourself permanently overpowered for the game. I think that is so funny. And you do not need to grind in this game because the higher level you are, the higher level the enemies will be. So it is actually to your benefit to stay as low level as possible for the game. Because when I beat the final boss, when I played the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy games, this was the only final boss that I got to, and I didn't have to go back and grind for. I kept dying to Sephiroth over and over again, and had to go back and grind to beat him. I couldn't beat whatever his name is at the end of Final Fantasy 9, and I had to go back and grind to beat him. Um, I did not have to do that in Final Fantasy VIII because I was so underleveled that the final boss didn't even have her like high end spells that she was supposed to have, and it made it a breeze. I just really enjoy like how breakable this game is if you know what you're doing, and I enjoy that. And I like the characters as well. Like it's kind of the Squall and Renoa show a little bit, but there's some moments with the other characters as well. I couldn't name the other characters right now off the top of my head because it's been a bit since I played it. Like for sure, like the party members of 7 are so much more like recognizable than 8, but like 8 gameplay wise, I was just a little bit more invested in that one than 7. Next, we have another RPG, but not at all like these ones. This is a game that is very special to me. I felt like this had to be here. Um, Especially if I was going to put Pokemon Legends ZA on the list. Pokemon Legends ZA is not my favorite Pokemon game. Right now, it is my second favorite Pokemon game because I'm putting Pokemon White here in spot 37 above Final Fantasy VIII. Pokemon White I feel like I'm more nostalgic for Heart Gold Soul Silver, but I will forever be a Johto. I'm not a Johto hater, but I'm not a Johto uh, glazer. Johto is far from a good region. Hoenn is great, but I don't have the nostalgia for it that some other people do. It would probably be like in the 60s, 70s if I were to extend the list. Emerald would be. Platinum is great. And again, it would be kind of there in the area where Emerald is. And I haven't gotten to replay Black 2 or White 2 in a long time. That's probably... I think that's the only Pokemon game that I've played... Well, it's not the only Pokemon game that I've played through once. But I've replayed all of the other DS era and before games multiple times. From Sun and Moon on, I haven't replayed any of the games. But those are more fresh in my mind because they're newer games. Black 2 and White 2, or Black 2 or White 2, I guess. I've only played once and experienced it when it came out, and otherwise I have not done anything with it. Pokemon White, I recently replayed most of it. I was actually doing the retro achievements for Black, I think. And when I was doing a Nuzlocke, and after I beat the 7th gym, I realized my achievement didn't get logged on retro achievements, and I realized that they took the achievement list down for maintenance. And then they put it back up, but I wasn't able to get my achievement for beating the 7th gym leader, and I didn't want to replay it all the way up to that point, so I stopped. But I just remember when this game came out, because this was when I was old, and this was the first Pokemon game I was, like, old enough to be hype about all the, like, speculation and getting into, like, the new Pokemon that were coming out. And it was a big game, because they decided to go all in with this and have an entire region where you only run into Pokemon from that region. Like, you only run into Unova Pokemon until the post-game. But N is probably my favorite Pokemon character. He would definitely be in S tier for me. As a matter of fact, like, there's no other character in Pokemon that really has quite as much development as N. The only ones that come close are, like, maybe, like, Hop comes to mind. But I don't know. N is just, like, a brilliantly written character. And that's crazy to say from a Pokemon game, because Pokemon games are not known for having, like, crazy stories. But if I hear, like, N's Farewell, that music, it gets me emotional. I love Pokemon Black and White. Okay. Next is a game that came out this year. Ooh. Big deal. Number 36. I generally do not like racing games. I generally do not like fighting games, because as much as I like the arcade style, it's like, I don't feel like they're that fun if you aren't playing with someone. And it's like, my girlfriend isn't a Mario Kart person. She just was never that good at it, and, like, never found it that fun. And same with Smash Bros. Really as well. It's not really her thing. But this game has so much love and care put into it. I loved the original Kirby Air Ride when it came out. However, the problem with Kirby Air Ride was City Trial. Everybody loves City Trial. Everybody can glaze City Trial. City Trial is so fun. The regular Air Ride mode sucked, and Top Ride sucked worse. The actual racing in Kirby Air Ride kind of sucked. It was really basic, and there was, like, no strategy involved whatsoever. Like, yeah, I'm sure you could argue that there was some strategy in there, but it's not like this is like a Melee versus Smash Ultimate comparison. This is like Kirby Air Ride was very basic. Now, Kirby Air Riders fixes that. Air Ride now has interesting tracks, including all of the tracks from previous games with a fresh coat of paint. And you can clearly see, like, I love Celestial Valley in the original, but it's like if you play Celestial Valley and then you play one of the new tracks, it's crazy how much more dynamic the new tracks are. And Top Ride. Top Ride, I love Top Ride in the new Kirby Air Riders game. Like, it's so much fun. And City Trial is back and better than ever. It's even better than it was in the original. And there's a new mode, Road Trip, which is like, it turns it into a roguelike. Like, everybody's obsessed with roguelikes. Road Trip takes all of the modes of Kirby Air Riders, combines them, and makes a roguelike out of it. And it's like, it's so fun. Time flies when you're playing that mode. And it's a single-player mode that Sakurai actually invested time into making a quality single-player mode in a racing game, which you do not see all that often. I think Kirby Air Riders is going to be one of those games where it's like, if I have people over, which doesn't happen very often, but it's like if there's a game night, that game is going to be my go-to. I love the chaotic fun of Kirby Air Riders. Next, we're staying on the Kirby train. Number 35. My favorite Kirby game, one that I will admit I have nostalgia for. I have not gotten to replay this one in a long time. I've played Kirby Superstar a lot. And Kirby Superstar, if I really cared, would probably go up here as well. But it's like, Kirby Superstar Ultra is the same game, but better. It is one of, Kirby Superstar Ultra is one of the best remakes of all time. As a matter of fact, it might be the best remake that has ever been produced by Nintendo of all time. Because it keeps the original game intact, changes, like, nothing about it other than giving it a fresh coat of paint, and then doubles the size of it. Like, adds pretty much double the levels. And it takes what made Kirby Superstar so good and just expands on it. It doesn't get in its own way. It expands on it. It's not just Kirby Superstar plus Funky Kong, if you understand that joke. It's Kirby Superstar plus Kirby Superstar 2, which is so fun. I really enjoyed being able to play as the helpers in this one as well, the helper to hero mode. And I just have a lot of memories playing the arena too. And I remember we were on vacation when I beat it for the first time, and I like popped off. Like, it was one of my gaming pop-off moments, was beating the arena in Kirby Superstar Ultra for the first time. But it's... I don't think there's any other Kirby game... I'm trying to think. I don't think any other Kirby game has the structure of Kirby Superstar Ultra. Like, Kirby Superstar Ultra was totally okay with having, like, completely different game modes that like, they were still, like, controlled the same, but the structure of them was so much different. Like, Spring Breeze is so much different from the Great Cave Offensive and what your objective is. And it's a game that will always hold a special place in my heart. Next, a new game from this year. This one, I admittedly didn't get to play very much myself. But this is a remake that has a crazy amount of polish, which results in a crazy amount of fun. The Resident Evil 4 remake. My girlfriend played through most of this while I watched, admittedly. Because Silent Hill 2 was my game. Resident Evil 4 was her game. I did get to play it a little bit, and I got to feel how polished it felt. Like, this is like the definition of a perfect game. I don't have too much to say on it, but it's just like... This is a game that could have easily blown up in their faces if they did it wrong, because Resident Evil 4 is so beloved. But they gave it exactly what it needed to have. And it's just such a well-paced game that's just pure fun to play. Moving on from there, a very different style of game, a more bright and colorful game, a collection. I didn't think I would like these games as much as I did, but I played through them. I loved them. I actually alternated when I was playing through the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy games. I would alternate between that one and one of these. That one of these. That one of these. And that was the Spyro trilogy. The Spyro trilogy served as my fresh air between Final Fantasy games. The first one didn't have me fully convinced, and then I played the second one and I fell in love. I loved Spyro 2. Like, absolutely loved it. And then 3 did pretty much everything it needed to do. Like, it was like Spyro 2 again, with, again, like, slight upgrades. Just pure fun playing these games. Next is a game that's going to be dropping quite a bit. This is 32. This is one I thought I loved, and I do love most of it, but it's one that I would glaze all the time and say that it's a modern 2D platformer that actually has, like, perfect level design. Like, I would say there's not a single miss in this game, but there are some low points that became glaringly obvious when I played the co-op with my girlfriend and replayed it a little more recently. It's not going down that much, but this is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Still a great modern 2D platformer, but perfect. There's some levels here and there that are downers. The key level is one that gets brought up, like, all the time as being, like, terrible, terrible design. But it's still fun to play. Like, it's still a very fun 2D platformer to play through with amazing music as well. Like, David Wise finally getting to use a full, like, orchestra to his advantage. I love the music in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Moving on from there, a game that's fresh in my brain, a game that's fresh in your brain, that is dropping unbelievably far. It's not the farthest drop on the list, but it is close. Where is it? Oh, look at it up here in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12th place. Pikmin 4, 12th place. Down to 31st. Do I think Pikmin 4 is bad? No, it is not a bad game. It's far from a bad game. It's a fun game. But it takes what I love about the other 3 Pikmin games and almost does too much. I will say this about, like, modern gaming as a whole. I feel like the bigger AAA studios are so afraid of making just, like, a short replayable game. I feel like the only modern game I can think of that fits that bill is Metroid Dread. Maybe you can name a couple more in the comments, but, like, you don't get a game like Luigi's Mansion where it's like, I can beat it in one sitting relatively easily anymore. Or Pikmin 1. Even Pikmin 3. It's like, that's not a thing. Every game needs to be bigger and better than the last. When I feel like that's almost a philosophy that's holding the gaming industry back a little bit. Because it's like, it doesn't have to be the biggest and the best game. Like, I would rather play Pikmin 1 over and over and over again than pull Pikmin 4 out. Because Pikmin 1, I've played so many times, I know it like the back of my hand, and I can beat it in an evening. Pikmin 4, it's like, it's a 20-hour deal to play through it. And yeah, I know there are ways to make it shorter than that, but it's still like has almost too much stuff in it to me. It's got too much bloat. And in regards to like the regular gameplay of the game, Ochi, while he's cute, I hope he is not a gimmick because he's like adorable and marketable. I hope he's not a gimmick that stays because he kind of ruins the squad management of the first trilogy of Pikmin games. Because it was always like, well, I have to be careful with the Pikmin that I bring because if I bring the wrong color, they might be in danger. Where it's like, Ochi trivializes it because you're just riding Ochi and everybody's on Ochi. And Ochi just kind of trivializes the bosses too, but it's such a pain to like play without. It's not like I'm gonna give myself a handicap and play without him because the game wasn't built for you to not have Ochi. So it's a pain in the butt to try to do anything without him. But that being said, it's still a fun game. It's a beautiful game as well. And I hope that because some people are sour on Pikmin 4 doesn't mean that there won't be a Pikmin 5. I hope they kind of go back to the way things were. I'm a little bit worried that they're going in the direction of Pikmin needs to be the baby game because it's cute and marketable. And I know there are a lot of other people that are worried about that too. But I'm hoping that will not be the case and that we will see Pikmin 5. I don't necessarily need like Pikmin 2 level of difficulty, but it's just like I don't know, like I still enjoy Pikmin 3 to a like degree. Like we haven't seen it yet, but you'll see how high it is. I still enjoy Pikmin 3 to a degree. Next. This one is a cheating. I have to admit, this is a cheater placement. Partially because I'm lazy and don't want to look up the Metroid Prime HD, spoiler alert, on the Switch and put that in instead. I'm using this slot as the trilogy of Metroid Prime, kind of off of assumption. I've played through Metroid Prime 1, and I love it. I'm hoping to play through the entire trilogy sometime soon. I was hoping to have done it before the making of this video, but I have not quite gotten around to it. It's going to be coming soon, spoiler alert, and it might be a part of a channel project, but haven't gotten around to it yet. I've played through all of 1 and about half of 2, but when I played through 2, I was 13 years old, so I don't remember it very well. But Metroid Prime, phenomenal game. Perfect game, I will even say. Like, it's like the structure perfectly puts the style of Super Metroid into a 3D space and makes it work. Like, it uses all of the abilities brilliantly. And it looks really clean as well. Now, we're on number 29. Unfortunately, Mario Galaxy 2, not on the list this year. Let's get that one out of the way. It disappeared. Oh, it like legitimately disappeared. It's like gone. Wind Waker HD. Also not on the list this year, unfortunately. I don't know where... Mario Galaxy 2 just got dropped there. But, funnily enough, it's in the spot that it should be. Donkey Kong Country 3. Everyone dogs on Donkey Kong Country 3. It's kind of the black sheep of the trilogy. I feel like not a lot of people have played it, first of all, but it's creative, I'll give it that, but it tries to do too much. There's so many gimmick, like every level almost in this game is a gimmick, and it doesn't necessarily need that to thrive. It felt like they didn't want to do Donkey Kong Country 2 again, so they tried to innovate, but instead of innovating, they just make everything, like, weird. Like, there's so few, like, traditional levels in Donkey Kong Country 3, it's kind of crazy. But it makes the game unique, and it makes it stand out above Donkey Kong Country 1, in my opinion. and I 100%ed this one. I've only 100%ed this one once, but I did really enjoy Donkey Kong Country 3. Actually, this was a total accident, but the next game on the list is Viva Pinata. Viva Pinata, I'm going to kind of put this hand in hand with Trouble in Paradise because really Trouble in Paradise should be here, and it was down here somewhere. Like, it's right here. The original Viva Pinata just has a special place in my heart. Like, that's purely nostalgia. Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise is far and away the better game. It actually has, like, a story and structure to it, along with, like, different biomes you can go to and way more pinatas. But I've told this story before. My sister and I loved Viva Pinata, and we used to make up quizzes for each other, like wholesome stuff about like all the pinatas and their residency requirements and all that stuff. That's probably why I have it memorized so well for speedrunning purposes. Um, but I love Viva Pinata. It's always going to be a game that's special to me, and always a game that I can bring out and just vibe with every once in a while. Next is an RPG. I haven't gotten to replay this one in a while. It's kind of a shame. I was playing through it with my girlfriend to show it to her. I think that was like 2 years ago almost. It's kind of a shame or maybe like a year and a half ago. Close to 2 years ago, and we still haven't finished it together. Like, I beat it, but she hasn't beaten her file of it yet. And this is Live Alive. Live Alive is super fun because it's different stories that have very different mechanics, and the storytelling is even very different between them. And then it all culminates together at the end. And I just really like how fun it was to just play through a story at a time, play through a story in a sitting, and then go to another one and feel how different they all were, and then figure out how everything comes together in the end for the big culminating ending. It was really enjoyable. The only reason it kind of gets brought down a little bit is just because it's not a game I ever really see myself going back to. It's not one that I have an itch to replay necessarily, just because there's definitely parts of that game that a part of that game that I do not see myself ever wanting to replay again, and that would be the Japan chapter. That one like was so stressful it like wasn't fun to me. Like, having to go through it like the perfect way. You kind of have to play through that part with a walkthrough, and it's kind of unfortunate. Next game, I think I realized just now that I don't have this game on the list. I forgot to add it. But this is a hot take. Hold on, let me search this one up and get it added. Is it there? Final Fantasy 16. What? Don't people not like? Well, apparently they don't hate this game. Where do I? Oh, add the lists. There, it's not 67 games anymore. Let's go back here. And then edit list. Final Fantasy 16 is a game I thought I didn't like when we played it. Like, full disclosure, I miss this game. Like, I still think about it here and there. I miss playing as Clive and just slashing enemies up. I miss, the hectic battles of this game. And the icon bosses, oh my gosh, spectacles. Like, you had to set aside... if you were getting to the end of a chapter, you had to set aside 2 hours at least to get through it, because the boss fights were so freaking insane in this game. The story is horribly paced. It's such a great idea, but it feels like they had all these really amazing ideas for story moments, but had no idea how to build them up, so they just kind of happen. there are parts that I feel like were built up well. I really like Joshua's relationship with Clive. I really like um, the Titan chapter, like how Titan has this history with Clive, and now we have this big culminating battle. It felt like that history between them was built up really well. Jill felt like a wasted character. I really wish they did more with Jill. She kind of just gets sidelined after her plot is kind of like her arc is complete, but it feels like she's just kind of there after that point, and it's kind of sad. Um, but what a fun game. It's just like a fun game to play gameplay wise, and it's like the more I think about it, the more I just miss playing it, and I could see myself going back to this game and playing it more someday. Next game on the list, this is number 25. Number 25 is The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. A lot more of this is going to be just stuff getting shifted around from previous years. Minish Cap, brilliant top-down Zelda game. I used to not like the 2D Zelda games. I used to only play the 3D ones. But there's such creative design in the Minish Cap. I love how the game looks. And I love how clever a lot of the dungeons are using the mechanic of you shrinking down. It's such a great game. Admittedly, I'm going to have to start speeding up on some of these picks, so I apologize in advance for not talking as much at length about these games towards the top. I'm going to move Mario Galaxy off because, full disclosure, it's not on the list. Mostly because I need to replay Mario Galaxy to see if it's nostalgia talking when I say that I love it, but I didn't feel like it was fair to keep it on the list. Next, on number 24, we're over halfway there. Rune Factory 3 actually keeping that spot. Let me make sure I'm actually recording. Okay, yeah, we're good. Rune Factory 3 is a nostalgia pick for me after I just said that I was removing Mario Galaxy for nostalgia. But Rune Factory 3 I've played a little bit more recently, and I just love it. It's like it's got the like life sim stuff that I really like, where you get to have relationships with the characters and really get to know the people in the town. But it also has like a legitimate story here, along with different dungeons that you go through where you battle enemies and all that stuff. Like, I like Harvest Moon games, I like Story of Season games, but it's like, I just kind of get lost in the monotony of it, where it feels like every in-game day I'm doing the same exact thing. Whereas Rune Factory, it's like, there's so many different things you can do, where it's like, you could go battle enemies, or you could stay in town and talk to the townspeople, do different quests and stuff for them. You also can, like, cook for yourself, you can craft your own weapons, and that aspect was always really fun to me. Next, might be a bit of a surprising drop. We have to scroll up for this one. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I figured this one was going to drop off over time. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, to me, I like it, but I think it's only going to drop every year, because it feels like a necessary evil at this point. Sorry, that's probably really gross. I have to blow my nose. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like, yes, they made the decision to split it up into a trilogy. Say what you will about that, but with the structure that they chose, the Midgar section makes sense to be one game. However, what you have to consider is that then this entire game is basically the exposition. You are spending all this time in the exposition of the game. And I really feel the dull pacing of this when I'm trying to like push my brother through it. I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth for my brother for Christmas last year, and we're still working through Remake. And I'm like, we just have to push through this because Rebirth is so much better. You just have to get through this. This is all necessary for the story. You just gotta get through the slow pacing. I know it's a little slow right now. Um, the attention to detail is still there, and it's astounding, and it is a really fun, smooth game to play with the combat and such. But it feels like a 20-hour or more long tech demo, almost. Like, it feels like a demo for Rebirth, really, is what it feels like. And I think this is one that's only going to keep going down for me. Especially when the final game of the trilogy comes out eventually. And, once again, I don't have to do any movement. Twilight Princess stays right where it is. I've been playing through it. Well, I haven't been playing through it. I've been watching my girlfriend play through it. I've been reading the collector's edition guidebook that I have for her to help her 100% it. This game is such a great Zelda game. Like, the story is amazing. Not as good as Skyward Sword, but Skyward Sword isn't quite as fun to play. That would probably be in the 60s and 70s. As of now, maybe I need to replay that one sometime soon. Maybe next year I'll do a Zelda rewind, kind of like I did the Pikmin rewind this year. But it has a great story. It has great gameplay, great like items in this game. Like Zelda is kind of all about the items and the tools it gives you. And great dungeons as well. I know some people are starting to dog on Lakebed Temple for being confusing. I have no idea how you can possibly say Lakebed Temple is that confusing. There's always like one spot where I don't realize you can shoot one of the rocks with a bomb arrow and drop it, but that's like the only thing that's confusing to me is I forget that you can do that, but now that I've played it enough times I remember. But the dungeons in this game are some of the best, like especially the second round, like when you're doing the Mirror of Twilight, all four of those are very strong dungeons. The Arbiter's Grounds, Snow Peak Ruins, Temple of Time, and City in the Sky. All of those except City in the Sky have been my favorite Zelda dungeon, full stop, at some point in time. City in the Sky I used to hate because it would crash my Wii for whatever reason. But point being, I love Twilight Princess, and I love all of Twilight Princess. The whole journey there, there's no downside to me. There was a part that I hated when I was a kid, the part where you had to follow the chariot and, like, use the boomerang to put out the fire if it got caught on fire, and shoot I think they're called Kargaroks, before they drop bombs on it to divert its path. Because I really struggled with that as a kid. I hated it. But now that I'm an adult, it's like, it's not really that hard. But there's like not a downside to this game whatsoever. Next, story-based game. I love this game for its story, and it looks really good. It's a game that looks really good. And again, this game has a plot that could be a movie because it is so, like, a lot of times games, like, you talk about the story of games being really good, but it's not like there's cheesy moments, and like games certainly have a different pacing than a movie. This game feels like it's a movie, and it feels like it's done really well, especially with the depth of its characters and the stakes and all of it. It's done so well. And this is Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, the game with the rope. Such fun exploration, and it's got so many satisfying moments where you can be swinging like Tarzan from a rope and you shoot some of the bad guys while you're swinging around. So fun. Such a fun experience playing Uncharted 4. And again, like I said, great story as well. Like, what an amazing, satisfying way to end Nathan Drake's story. Next, just above Uncharted 4, 3D platformer, game that I will forever love, but not as much as the original, Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie, for a while here, I was thinking I actually liked it more than the original. I actually thought I liked Banjo-Tooie more than the original Banjo-Kazooie. And then I play it, and the first 3 levels convince me. Then I start to taper off a little bit on Jolly Roger Lagoon, and then it gets like worse and worse as you go. Cloud Cuckoo Land's okay, but I truly feel like it gets like Pterodactyl Land's bad, Grunty Industries is worse, and then Hailfire Peaks makes me want to quit and never play the game again. Mayhem Temple, Glitter Gulch Mine, and Witchy World, and even Jolly Roger Lagoon are all better than a lot of the worlds in Banjo-Kazooie. But then it just like takes a dive there. They just felt the need to do too much with it. Like Banjo-Tooie is the perfect example of the fact that a sequel does not need to be bigger and better necessarily, because the fact that they tried to go so big with so many of the concepts is what was a detriment to this game. Like Banjo-Tooie has so much backtracking. It's almost like a Metroidvania, where it's like you go to a place and you can't access something, and you're like trying to figure out why, and then you realize it's because you need an item from a later, or you need a move from a later world, and then you come back and do it. And it just makes navigating everything so annoying, because you're going back and forth between different worlds and trying to figure out like how you can complete the objectives. What was really annoying to me as a kid was like not knowing for sure if I could finish an objective. Like, for example, the first world, you have to sneak past a caveman to steal a statue and bring it back to the original owner. However, when you're sneaking past the caveman, I kid you not, I need to hold the control stick with both hands to make it like you need to barely move or he will wake up. I was convinced, because I was bad at it as a kid, that I needed some sort of ability, so I just never got that jiggy as a kid because I assumed I needed a different ability. When it's like, I feel like it just creates this distrust. It's like the game gives you trust issues, because it's like, do I have what I need to get this, to finish this puzzle, or do I need something from a later world? And that's why I kind of hate that design when it's done in this way, is it didn't necessarily feel 100% clear and obvious when I needed something else. But that doesn't mean I don't love playing through it. I love me a good 3D platformer, and that was a lot of negative. But ultimately, like, I really do like Banjo-Tooie a lot, and I do enjoy my time playing through it. Next, it's actually in its correct spot after I swapped those two. Chrono Cross. I love Chrono Cross. Chrono Trigger, not on the list. Embarrassing, I know. I still haven't beaten it. I've tried like 3 times, but I haven't beaten it. But I've platinumed Chrono Cross. I've beaten Chrono Cross twice. And technically I've beaten it multiple times because I've done every single ending. I've seen every ending of Chrono Cross. I think it's so funny how they overload you with characters in this game. There's so many different characters, and it makes it like fun to see like a tier list of it. Like, I bet this game would be like Nuzlockable, and that's something that I've thought about doing for content before, is like a Nuzlocke of Chrono Cross. I think it'd be really fun. But it's got a really unique battle system as well that will forever be like something that I remember. I will always remember like Chrono Cross as being the one with the different elements that interact with each other, and you can like set up the field so that your elements do more damage if the field is like completely your color. Um, but yeah, I got really invested in Chrono Cross for a while, and I actually really adore it. It just has a charm for me, and I think it's a game like it's a short enough RPG that I think I could see myself playing through it again in the future. And actually, the next few games are in the right order. Metroid Dread is next, taking up spot number 18 on the list. I need to replay Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is I'm replaying it soon, but I've only played it once. I loved it. I think when it first came out, it might have been in my top 5 games, but it's only fallen because I haven't gotten to replay it. Um, from what I remember, it was like a perfect game. I can't say too much on it because, again, haven't played it in a while, but I alluded to it earlier. It's the type of game that is really fun to replay because it's like you will only get faster the more that you replay it, and the more familiar you grow with it. Um, all of the 2D Metroid games from not Metroid Fusion, Super Metroid on do such a good job of like subtly hinting what you need to do so you don't need a walkthrough to play the game. Like they're designed brilliantly, and I'll go into that more when we get to a later game on the list, perhaps. But Metroid Dread, super fun, and it's just a super clean looking game as well. Another super clean game, Mario Odyssey. For right now, the only 3D Mario game on the list, because I haven't gotten to do my 3D platformer extravaganza yet. But I will someday, and hopefully, well, I don't want to say hopefully, but maybe that will introduce some more 3D Mario games back to the list. Mario Odyssey is a brilliant game. I think it's designed so well with the philosophy of a person should be able to get on the game and feel like they can accomplish something within 10 minutes of their playtime. And I feel like Mario Odyssey does that so well with how the moons are designed, where it's got so many small scale objectives and bigger scale objectives as well, to where like everybody can be happy playing this game. And the fact, like, the hardest part about these Mario games is how you balance his power-ups. And this one, instead of giving him power-ups, they let him be things from the environment and enemies. And the way that every enemy is implemented is so clever, like how they all are completely different from each other and used for completely different things. It's such great design. It's amazing. Next, an RPG that's fallen off a little bit. I loved it the first time I played it. Then I had my girlfriend play it, so I got to relive it through her. And I think maybe this is just because, like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't love slower paced games. Like, I like my games to be relatively fast paced, but it doesn't help that I wasn't playing it actively either. Final Fantasy IX. I still love Final Fantasy IX. I think it's a great game. The characters all are amazing. Like, you see so much character development with most of the characters. Some of them don't have development, but it's like very intentional that they don't. Like Amarant. Amarant doesn't need development. You don't need to give development to that style of character. But like seeing Vivi go through what he has to go through, seeing the Princess Garnet go through what she has to go through, Zidane, like that "You Are Not Alone" sequence, that is so powerful. Just an amazing game with amazing characters as well. Like characters that you will fall in love with when you play it. Next, a brilliant 2D platformer that made me fall in love with Sonic the Hedgehog. That's going to fall a little bit, but not too much. Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is a game that feels so clean to play when you know what you're doing. Like, it's just so smooth. And the level design, oh, it's peak. It is so good. And they, like, even in the, like, replay levels, like, because there's new zones and there's repeats of old zones, they do such a good job of, in Act 1, respecting the design of the original. And then in Act 2, adding things that completely mix it up. Like, I think about the, Act 2 of Chemical Plant Zone, for example, where you inject the green goo in the water to make it so that you bounce off of it. Great design. Great design. This is a game that I need to replay as well. I played a little bit of it a few days ago to try to get it fresh in my brain, but I think I only got through Chemical Plant. Yeah, I only got through Chemical Plant Zone, so I definitely did not get very far. The next game on the list is exactly where it needs to be. Coming in at number 14 is Pikmin 3. I like Pikmin 3 a lot more than I used to. I appreciate it a lot more than I used to. Mission mode is a godsend in this game. Like, mission mode is so fun, trying to optimize your route to collect all of the items within the time limit or kill all the enemies within the time limit. I love those mission mode stages, and I'm so glad there was DLC to add more of them, because I kind of forget. I'm pretty sure there was only 5 levels of each in the original, and then they added 10 more. That kind of, like, makes the game for me, is the mission mode. And Bingo Battle is so fun as well, like, the multiplayer. It's a clever way to, like, take what they had in Pikmin 2 with the kind of half-assed versus mode and then make it actually fun and implement the bingo aspect of it. The main story, I didn't love the pacing of it the first time. I thought it was like, it's like mind-numbingly easy. And it's pretty, like, streamlined what you need to do for your objectives. But I think I let my nostalgia bias get in the way when I talk about Pikmin 3 a little bit too much. It's really not that different from, like, the original Pikmin. I just was disappointed that there were no caves, because I loved the caves in Pikmin 2. And moving on from here, Pikmin 1. Pikmin 1 is a nostalgic pick. It's the first game that I ever played. Pikmin 1 is the first game that I ever played. As a, like, 2-3-year-old toddler, I was playing Pikmin 1. I was not very good at it, but it will always have a special place in my heart. And I would always, like before I even knew speedrunning was a thing, I would replay Pikmin 1 over and over and over, trying to get my day count to be less and less and less every time I played, trying to cut days as much as I could, and I replayed the crap out of this game. Such a fun game. Pikmin 1. Always going to have a special place in my heart, even if it is so much more jank. Like, compare these two games. There is so much more jank in Pikmin 1 than Pikmin 3, but I can't even say it's part of the charm. It sucks sometimes when Pikmin trip randomly and trip into an enemy and wake it up and everybody's dead. But despite the jank, I love Pikmin 1. It's just a comfort game for me. I can play it in my sleep. Next, actually, let's address Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles X was in my top 20. I think it was even in my top 15. And now that I've beaten it, it's actually gone. Like, it's not on the list anymore. I think it's partially with my experience of beating it, where I was forcing myself to get through it as fast as I could, almost, so I didn't really get to fully experience it. I always talk about how much I loved the exploration of Xenoblade X. That was always my justification for putting it where it was, even though I had never beaten it or even gotten that far in it. Even though I knew the story was nothing to write home about, now that I actually beat it, I realize, like, I'm never going to have the desire to play that game again. Like, I truly will never have the desire to play it again. Maybe someday I'll have some nostalgia for it because of how much time I invested into it and how much energy I invested into it. But I don't know. I don't think I will ever play that game again. But now we talk about some pretty high games on the list. Number 12, Stardew Valley. I will always come back to this game. Start a New Farm. It's the perfect cozy game. It's brilliant. It has the perfect design of keeping you invested in the game. It has like the perfect day cycle where it's like you don't do quite enough and you're like, okay, I got to play another day because otherwise I'm going to lose track of what I was doing. Or, oh, I almost finished that, let me go one more day. Or it's very goal oriented and there's so much to do in the game as well, especially as he keeps adding more stuff. Like, I haven't even really gotten into like the desert stuff or like anything in the Skull Caverns or Ginger Island. My knowledge of the game is very baseline level just because I just like the cozy atmosphere of it. I like the characters and it's an addicting game. This is one of those games, I told my roommate this in college. If I were on an island, if I sold every game and had just Stardew Valley, I would be satisfied for the rest of my life playing just this game. It's such a good game. Next is a game that I lowered mostly because, like, I know it needs to be here because I remember loving it, but I only remember loving it because I have only replayed it once or twice. Fire Emblem Awakening was so special to me at the time because the biggest story-based game that I had ever played before I played Fire Emblem Awakening was The Legend of Zelda. Like not the original Legend of Zelda, obviously, but like any Zelda game, period. Zelda games were my story-based games when I was a kid. And then I played Fire Emblem Awakening, and I was blown away by the depth that some characters can have. And just how invested I was in the story, invested in the characters. I really need to replay this one so that I can have a more clear opinion of it. But I love Fire Emblem Awakening, and I always will. Next, in the number 10 spot, is Super Metroid. And these are kind of just, like, not going to change, these games here. But Super Metroid, perfect game, by definition. This game might be the most genius game of all time. It is crazy when you play the original Metroid on the NES, and how unclear it is where you need to go, like, all the time. It's just a maze. And then you play Super Metroid, and it's like, it feels like you're getting lost, but the game has its way of guiding you exactly where you need to go so that you feel like you're discovering stuff and getting lost on your own in your isolation on the planet. But in reality, it's really like only one way that you can go. And then you can backtrack to get more items and power-ups, but it's like, the game's pretty linear with where it wants you to go. It's just that it has such a way of making you feel like you're getting yourself lost and turned around. and just like the skill cap for this game. It's so fun to get good at Super Metroid. Not that I'm that good at it, but it's like I can do some of the basic tricks. And it's fun. The skill expression in the gameplay is fun. Banjo-Kazooie, kind of similar to Super Metroid, it's just a brilliant 3D platformer. It's concise, it doesn't overstay its welcome, which makes the pacing of the game perfect. The only downside with the pacing isn't necessarily a level that I dislike, but Click Clock Wood, whenever I get to it, it just feels too long, and it feels like at that point I'm ready for the game to be over. But I just recently replayed this, actually. I played through all of Banjo-Kazooie in one sitting a couple days ago. It's firmly up here, and it always will be. It's a nostalgic pick for me because it was kind of in there with Pikmin as one of my first video games I ever played. DKC 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Donkey Kong Country 2, again, just a brilliant game. The difficulty curve of this game is what's brilliant about it. And the variety of levels. This game, unlike Tropical Freeze, I can confidently say there is not a bad level in this game. Every level is fun to play. But it's so brilliant how it gradually teaches you these different mechanics. Like, the first time you get Squitter the Spider, it's like you learn that you can skip portions of the level by using its webs, and it's a distinct advantage. And it's like, oh, cool, I can skip over this stuff because I have the spider. And if I'm good at it, I don't have to do any of this BS around me. Then you get to the haunted level, where you have to use the spider's webs to cross over these ravines with a bunch of crap getting thrown at you. And it's like, okay, I'm glad I know how to do this now, when I was able to practice it with no stakes before. Like, that's one example that's very specific, but there's a lot of examples throughout Donkey Kong Country 2 where it's like, it introduces an idea, it introduces a concept at a very baseline level, and then it keeps building on it in the difficulty until you get to the end of the game, and you feel like the levels are like borderline impossible, but it's in a fun way. It never the game never feels horribly frustrating or punishing. Xenoblade Chronicles 1. What is there to say about Xenoblade Chronicles 1? It is a masterclass in storytelling. It is an amazing game. The setting is what is the biggest, draw, in my opinion, for Xenoblade Chronicles 1. The scale of the world, it's so clear how well thought out it is, because when you're in a different part of the Titan, you can see areas that you've previously been. Anyone who's familiar with Xenoblade Chronicles knows this. But it's like, it always makes it clear every time you go to a new area. Oh, you're on this part of the Titan, you're on the Bionis' knee. And it's like gradually going through all of the different areas. The world building is insane. The lore building is insane. No spoilers, but it's like the twists and turns you take through Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Your first experience of this game will be amazing. And then your second experience will be even better because you'll notice all of the instances of foreshadowing. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I love Fire Emblem Three Houses because it's so replayable. You can play the 4 different routes, really. Even though the beginning is the same, you're getting the second half of the story is pretty much completely different based on which one you pick. And it has the replay value there. I just am so invested in the characters in this game. Like, it's like, I enjoy all of them in different ways. Even the ones that are a little bit more boring, like Caspar, Raphael, the ones that are kind of one-note characters. It's like, I just got invested. And as a teacher myself, like, I don't necessarily love feeling like I'm a teacher in a game, but it's like, it's really cool how they used you being a teacher to increase the character's skill points and be able to teach them what you want them to do, and it makes it like the most customizable Fire Emblem game because of it. Now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's been a year, but you are moving down a few spots. I do really like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I really hope, like, I'm going to replay it before the sequel comes out. I still think it's a brilliant game. It is, like, so amazing, and the attention to detail, oh my gosh, it's astounding. And I love the open world. I love all the characters. I love how everything was implemented. But it is an overwhelming game to replay. I don't know if I even want to replay it because there's so much to do in it, and I think I will get distracted by all the other like little objectives and things I can do. It'll be hard for me to replay it and try to ignore the mini games. But that doesn't change how it made me feel going through this game, and I still watch the ending scenes on YouTube every now and again when I'm remembering it, and I still cry every time, but I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It will always kind of be up here in the top tier, I think. Unless the third game dethrones it completely. We'll see how satisfying they make the ending. Next is Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 was my childhood favorite game. From the time it came out, and I got it for Christmas, until I played Xenoblade when I was in college, Pikmin 2 was my favorite game of all time. Always. I replayed it all the time. Like, I know that game like the back of my hand. And it never gets old. Like, I love the game to death. I've played it so many times. It's just that game that it's like I keep going back to for nostalgia, for familiarity. And it just never gets old for me. People complain about the difficulty. As someone who's been playing it since they were like 5, I don't think it's that deep. It's not like the Dark Souls of Pikmin. I think that's a little overdramatic, but it is hard at times. It's punishing at times, but there's always a reset button. Pikmin 2, always going to have a special place in my heart. Now, Xenoblade 3. Xenoblade 3 is the only game that has ever made me completely sob and bawl my eyes out because of good old Chapter 5. But what a game. It got me sucked in and invested in the characters. I was so hyped. This is the last time I was like truly hyped for a game. Because I had played through Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 after they had already come out and the hype was already over. I got to see the reveal trailer for Xenoblade 3 when I was invested in Xenoblade, freak out over that, get really invested in the lead up to it, and then buy it day one and immediately like stream through the whole thing. And what an experience it was. I love Xenoblade 3. The story really hits me because it's a very existential themed story. And there's so many emotional moments. They do, like, they really take advantage of the world building and the lore in terms of, like, how the characters interact with each other. Now, I decided, well, first of all, let me bring this one up here. Number 2, yes, this one is the the elephant in the room. Expedition 33 is going here. This is the number 2 spot. Expedition 33, for me, I think will always stay up here. I don't know if it'll stay top 5, but it was a truly special game and a truly special experience. It is a perfect game. While there are spots that I was like, this is a little jank, namely a couple gestural beaches, those I feel like were intended to be jank, so I'm not going to judge them too harshly, especially since they're optional. This is a game that you, like, have to experience. It's a story that gets you invested early. It's actually a very similar, like, it has very similar themes to Xenoblade 3, and that's why I think I do like it so much, because I love Xenoblade 3. I just think this one is a little bit better and a little bit cleaner with its presentation of it. And I really like how much they paint... Well, they kind of do it in Xenoblade 3 as well. They don't really give you a choice at the end of Xenoblade 3. There's a choice that you make at the end of Expedition 33 that determines what ending you get. You don't really get a choice at the end of Xenoblade 3, but it's kind of the same sort of, like, tragic acceptance, I would say, at the end of Xenoblade 3 and Expedition 33. The thing about Expedition 33 that I love, as someone who wants to respect my time a little bit, is it doesn't require a lot of time. It's a brilliant game that manages to pack it all within, like, 30 hours. Like, if I want to get the most out of Xenoblade 3 that I can, I'm playing, like, 100 hours. Expedition 33, when I platinumed it, I think I took maybe 70 hours. But obviously I'm not going to platinum it again. If I were to replay it, I'd probably go story mostly. But wow, what a game. And the story behind the development of the game is a way to get invested in it as well. Now, I'm taking Torna off the list because it is now combined with Xenoblade 2 because it is a DLC. I'm not going to rank a DLC separately. Like, it's like, yeah, it's a DLC story that is not present in the original game, but I'm including it. I think Xenoblade 2 is going to have a hard time ever being topped. It's kind of my new Pikmin 2. Because Xenoblade 2 was my first experience fully playing through a Xenoblade game. Say what you will about the art style, say what you will about the anime girls and all of the anime tropes that are present in the story. Yes, it does have some low points, but every time I play Xenoblade 2, I just fall in love all over again. I get addicted to it, and it's like when I play through this game, it is my obsession. When I am playing through it, I love every aspect of it. I love the combat. I love grinding for the affinity charts as well, for the blades. I love the characters. I love the character development. Like, people dog on Rex, but it's like, once about chapter 6... Sorry. Once, like, chapter 6... No, sorry, but chapter 6 or 7, once those chapters hit, Rex, like, has to deal with tragedy, and it's like, he matures so much as a character through those moments, and seeing Pyra and Mithra's role get fully revealed more and more as the game goes on. It's like, it's tragic. It's a tragic game. It's a game about tragedy. And it's a game about finding your identity, and it's like a game about struggling with yourself and your past actions. And that's something that's really gripping to me. I love Xenoblade 2, and that is my number one game of all time. Save changes. And view list. After talking it through, here it is. I'll slowly scroll up for you. Starting with number 50 at Ace Attorney Trilogy, and moving our way up. There's my top 50 video games of all time as of the beginning of 2026. 2025 was a great year of gaming, and I'm hoping 2026 sees even more. A game that I'm super excited for this year is there's a new Fire Emblem. I don't want to get too hyped about a new Fire Emblem because there's a lot of Fire Emblem games, and you'll notice only 2 of them make my list. But when I love them, I really do love them. I'm super excited for the new one. But I hope you all have enjoyed watching this, especially if you made it all the way through. This is a long video. Almost 2 hours. If you want to discuss games, if you want to discuss my picks and how much they suck, feel free to discuss with me in the comments. I love talking about games. But thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all with the next one. Peace out.